When silence falls. Night always carries a weight that the day never dares to hold. Cities breathe differently when the sun is gone. Streets seem longer, shadows stretch wider, and the smallest sound feels like a scream in the void. That was the night I stumbled into a story I should never have uncovered. A story that, once heard, will haunt you too. My name is Aria. I am not a detective, not a journalist, not even someone brave. I am simply a photographer who has always been drawn to details that most people overlook. I capture dust floating through a ray of light, cracks on forgotten walls, reflections in puddles after the rain. But one night, my lens captured something I could never unsee. It began on a rainy evening. The streets were slick, and the reflections of neon signs painted the pavement with colors that felt alive. I was walking home when my eyes caught the broken window of an abandoned house. It was nothing unusual. My city is filled with ruins of old lives, but this one felt different. Through the shards of glass, I noticed a faint glow upstairs, flickering like a candle fighting to survive. Curiosity won. I stepped inside. The door moaned as if it hadn't been touched in years. The smell of dust and mold pressed against me. Wooden stairs creaked under my weight, complaining about every step I took. At the end of the hallway, a dim light called me closer. The room was nearly empty. A table stood in the corner, a few books scattered across it, pages yellowed with age. And on the table, an old camera, its screen still on, glowing faintly. My heart skipped. Who had been here? Why was it still running? I lifted the camera, one file, one video, its title, The Last Day. I pressed play. The screen showed a woman, pale, tired eyes, hair tangled, lips trembling as she spoke. Behind her was the same room. "If you found this," she whispered, "then it means I failed. But you must listen. You must understand what happened here before it's too late." Her voice cracked. She mentioned a name, Leo. She begged for forgiveness. She said things about betrayal, about shadows that followed her, about choices that led her into darkness. And then she said something that froze my blood. "If you hear footsteps behind you, do not run. If you see the light in this window, know that I am still here, waiting. Look for me, where silence falls." The video ended abruptly. I stood there, the camera heavy in my hands, the room colder than before. Every instinct told me to leave, but something deeper told me to stay. Who was this woman? What happened to her? And who was Leo? The next day I returned. I searched the house, the neighborhood, even the city archives. Most people shrugged. That place has been empty for decades. But one elderly woman remembered. She said a young woman once lived there, always staring out the window as if waiting for someone. And then one day, she disappeared. Piece by piece, I collected fragments, letters buried in drawers, notes scribbled in margins of books, a diary page half burned in the fireplace. All pointed to the same theme, a love story torn apart, a betrayal that led to madness, and a lingering presence that refused to fade. At night, when I replayed the video, her words echoed differently. "Do not run. I am still here." Silence falls. It felt less like a warning and more like a set of instructions, as if she was leaving a trail for someone who would come after. One stormy night, I returned again. The house was darker than ever, yet the same window glowed faintly. My steps echoed louder than usual, or maybe the silence made them unbearable. When I reached the room, the camera was gone. Only a photograph lay on the table, her face, eyes staring straight at me, half hidden in shadows.
On the back, in trembling handwriting, "Forever." A sudden gust of wind slammed the window shut. I spun around. For a split second, I swore I saw her figure standing in the doorway. The outline of her body, the tilt of her head, and then gone. But her voice remained, not from the camera, not from any device, inside my head. A whisper, "Thank you for listening." I staggered back, heart racing, clutching the photograph. I ran out into the rain, streets empty, city asleep. My mind screamed that it was impossible, but deep down I knew the truth. The next morning, I uploaded her story. The video included her recording, the fragments I found, my own footage of the house. I titled it, "When Silence Falls, the Forgotten Tape." People went crazy, comments flooded in. This gave me chills. I couldn't sleep. Who is Leo? Did you find him? I saw something move in the background at 7:12. Rewind it. The video spread faster than I imagined. Her story was no longer buried in silence. It was alive, retold by thousands of voices.
But something else happened. Strange things started appearing in the comments. Timestamps marking whispers I hadn't noticed, shadows I hadn't filmed, reflections that didn't belong to me. And then, late at night, as I scrolled through those comments, I heard it again. Her whisper. Not from the video, from the room around me. "Look for me, where silence falls." I don't know if sharing her story saved her or doomed me to join her. But if you're watching this, remember, some silences are louder than screams. And once you hear them, you can never go back.